She thought her message would disappear, that her warning would pass unnoticed in the grand halls of the inner palace. But Malmo had underestimated just how sharp the palace eyes could be. Jinshi, no one knew his origins. Some whispered he was a prince in disguise. Others said he was simply too beautiful to be real. But when his eyes landed on Malmo, there was no mistaking it. She was a player in a silent war, a Game of Thrones where the pieces didn't move on their own. Someone was always pulling the strings. He knew. "You're wasted in the kitchens," he said. An ominous title that echoed through the halls of the palace. "My lady," he added, bowing slightly. "There are matters I must discuss with you, tonight. Courtyard at the hour of the setting moon." It was a challenge, an order, a test. She knew what she had to do. And resolved, she saw not just a player in the game, but its architect. And she realized she wasn't merely a pawn in his design, but a queen waiting to claim her throne. Jinshi was playing a dangerous game, but he wasn't the only one. If she could expose the concubine's plot, then maybe, just maybe, she could turn the tables. She could become the most valuable player on the field. Only one woman held that rank, Lady Danju, the emperor's most beloved concubine, the one who had stolen Consort Hein's position, the one who had taken everything. From that day forward, the air in the palace thickened with tension. It was a tangible thing, a living entity that seeped into every corner, every conversation, every glance. Then, leaning closer, he added almost too softly, "You're the one who sent the letter." Maman said nothing. She had no need to confirm what was already clear. And just like that, everything changed. The air was thick with anticipation, heavy with the weight of the moment. Jinshi stood before her, his figure silhouetted against the fading light. Beside him, a small table lay set, its surface bearing a single scroll. "What is this?" Malmo asked, her voice barely a whisper in the vast emptiness. Unfurling the scroll, Jinshi revealed a series of diagrams, each one meticulously detailing a different aspect of the imperial concubine's chambers. Entrances, exits, secret passages, guard positions, all were mapped out with precision. "You want me to spy?" Malmo finally understood. This wasn't just about exposing the concubine. It was about infiltrating her inner circle, turning the tables on the palace's power structure. It started with a presence. A man dressed in silk, his steps too quiet, his gaze too focused. She was removed from the kitchens and assigned to a new post, an unexpected, highly suspicious reassignment. Personal servant to Consort Gyukyu, one of the emperor's favorite women, a place no ordinary maid would ever reach. At first, Malmo thought it was punishment, but it wasn't. It was a test. Consort Gyokyu was kind, refined, and still recovering from the miscarriage. By day, Mamo assisted Gyokyu, learning the rhythms of her lady's needs. By night, she trained, honing her skills in the courtyard, her movements precise, her form deadly. Her ladies knew nothing of this duality. In the daylight hours, they saw only a diligent servant. In the stillness of the night, she shed that identity like a discarded robe. To them, she was an enigma, a shadow, a whisper in the wind. She smiled through the pain, but her body was weak. Malmo examined her subtly, discreetly. No face powder, no perfume. No medicine from outside, so why was she still ill? The answer wasn't clear, but one thing was, Jinshi was watching her. Not with anger, not even with curiosity, but with calculation. He wanted to see what she would do next. Malmo hadn't asked for attention, but attention had found her. And now she was no longer just a servant. Days turned into weeks, the quiet routine of the consort's chambers becoming her new reality. Then came the summons. Consort Heian was expecting a visitor, someone of importance. The imperial concubine. When Jinshi learned of the impending arrival, he made his move. Disguise, he said, was useless. They knew her anyway. Hours later, under the cloak of darkness, Namo found herself in the courtyard, her heart pounding against her ribs like a captive bird. But as she looked at the man beside her, his features so finely sculpted, his eyes so filled with both weariness